My name's Eddie. I'm a recovering alcoholic addict. I'm 27 years old. I've been clean and sober for 6 years, and I'm just going to share with you a little bit about my story. I was brought up by a loving family, a family who have always wanted to see me do well. But growing up, moving from Spain to England, I found that quite difficult. Didn't really know anyone, went to an all-boys school, found it quite hard to mix in, and until I found drink and drugs. And for me, that's what I thought gave me that connection. It gave me what I was looking for, what I was searching for. So going through school, it was quite difficult at the age of 16. Got into a lot of trouble with the police. I was very lucky I was a minor. Otherwise, I would have been put into prison for my causes, which was burglary. And I'd do anything. I'd do anything to get what I wanted. I would rob off dealers. I would steal off family. And the amount of fear that I put my family through. Today, I realize that, but back then I didn't. In my active addiction, all I cared about was myself and who am I going to manipulate, steal off to get what I wanted. Today, my life is completely different. I'm able to help others to achieve sobriety. And this is something that I've learned in recovery myself. To be able to keep it, I've got to give it away. And by this I mean, share that hope. Share my experience, strength, and hope with someone. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the journey of Eddie's Street Cuts. Thank you. So, Eddie's Street Cuts first started about 5 years ago. And this was something that I started with my boss, Phil, who is the salon owner at my salon where I work at. We started in Julian House, they're an amazing organization. They're a hostel in Bath. And from there on, we were able to connect with other homeless charities and work with other homeless charities as well. And the idea of the Street Cuts came to me was when I finished a session at Julian House, and I saw one of my street friends sitting in a doorway. His hair was overgrown, gorgeous hair, thick hair. And I looked at him, and I got down on his level, and I said, "Would you like a free haircut?" And he said, "Yeah," and that was where the journey of the Street Cut started, because what he was sharing with me is that not every homeless person likes to go into hostels. So that gave me an idea of cutting hair on the streets in Bath. So, we will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about where Eddie Street Cuts is now and the team we have today. The support that has been given to us to be able to grow the team in Bath and Bristol. We have now a big team, which is just amazing. This means we can touch more lives of homeless people and give out more hope. And just thank you to the team as well, voluntary, giving their spare time, on their days off, and being able to give these men and women the haircuts. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Shane, and I'll share a video about him as well. So Shane's great. He's one of my good guys, and we go to Bosch, which is on a Sunday at the end of every month. And because of the pandemic, we hadn't been able to cut hair for about a year, and obviously his hair had really overgrown. And one of the lovely things that he says to me is, "I don't let anyone else touch my hair, Eddie, apart from you."
My name's Shane Clark. I have my hair cut about once a year due to the fact that my mental health and I'm living on the streets on and off. But I tell you what, the freedom I feel just from having this free haircut today, I can feel the air going through it, and it's a brilliant haircut. I'm really chuffed with it. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your help. Cheers.
So what does a haircut mean to them? How does a haircut make you guys feel? You know, when you walk into a salon, into a barber, and you get that haircut, you know, how do you feel walking away? You feel good, right? Yeah, you feel good. For these guys, where they haven't had their haircut sometimes for a year, for 2 years, you know, to be able to make that transformation, not only what they look like on the outside, but also how it makes them feel on the inside as well. It gives them back their dignity, their self-worth. It makes them feel human, you know. So this is Jose. Now, Jose is a Spanish guy that I had met on the streets in Paris. And he'd just come out of hospital. He'd been badly beaten up on the streets by a group of men. And that's how dangerous it can be, living out on the streets as well.
Wow. Oui. Oh, estupendo. Fenómeno. Gracias, Eddie. Hostia.
So he said, "Thank you, Eddie." Hostia, which means like, oh my word. You know, the difference between what it was like before and after, it just completely lifts him. So this is Kieran. So again, Kieran is 23 years old, in and out of prison, living on the streets, and he hasn't been able to speak to his family for a long time. So this is Deborah. Deborah, I cut her hair a few years back out in Bristol. Wonderful woman. We just connected straight away, gave each other a big hug.
Hello, my name's Deborah. This lovely man's done my hair today. It's absolutely amazing. I feel like $100 million this morning. Yeah, thank you so much. You don't know how great this makes me feel. Yeah, it's so nice of you to do this. Believe me, it just makes other people so happy having their hair done. You won't believe what a difference it makes. Thank you, sweetheart.
So I was in Bristol cutting hair, and there was a chap who I came across, and I offered him a haircut, and he said, yeah, he'd love it. I said, great. And you know, not everybody likes to be in the view of being, you know, amongst people watching, getting their hair cut. So I always like to make sure, are you comfortable here, or would you like me, or shall we go somewhere else, a bit more quieter? Now also, what it makes me realize, and what I've learned as well, is that when they do want to be here in front of people, they're recognized as well. They're seen, you know, and I've seen that in them. You know, they get excited. You know, people are looking, they get more confident as well. And this is all through connection and a haircut. So Alex agreed to have his haircut, and I took a photo. And I've always asked, is it okay if I use this for personal use and social media? And they say yes or no. So I posted it. And what was amazing is that Alex's sister got in touch with me, messaged me and said, I've heard my brother's died of a heroin overdose, but I've seen a picture of him on your social page. Do you know where he is? Could you help me find him? Now, through this one picture, I was able to help her, send her in the direction of other homeless organizations, where then she could be interlinked with, you know, social workers, and then the Brain Institution of in Bristol, where he had a brain seizure, and he was very, very, very lucky to be alive. But the lovely thing is that they were connected, they were reunited, where she thought she'd lost her brother. And I went over with my mum to go see Alex and spend time with him as well. So human touch as well. You know, I've touched on this before. But also not just the haircut I like to give. I love to give a face massage as well, you know, because a lot of these guys, you know, their arms, their hands, from sleeping on the floor, you know, their bodies are quite tense. So it's giving them that touch, you know, where they haven't had that human connection for so long. I'd just like to thank everyone. You know, thank you to my family. Thank you to my work for giving me the support. And, you know, I hope that I can pass on this message of recovery. You know, somebody in this room might be affected directly or indirectly. And it's something that I've been so lucky to have is my own recovery and be able to pass that on to hopefully to another young person or someone else who is still suffering. So I'd just like to leave it there. Thank you.